Ashe. So, peace to the people who are starting to join me on Bigo Live. I am live on both platforms. Okay. So, this is Midnight Mindfulness on YouTube. And peace to the people who are also going to be joining me on Bigo Live. And also, this is a timeless message, whatever's going to come out. And so also peace to those of you who hear this, in the playback, because it is being recorded. And so, I'm in a much better space than I've been in, I am a healer, so being a healer doesn't make you not human. And so, when you have to take time to nurture yourself and to, realign with the truth. So I had to take time to really return to my zenness. Okay. So I'm going to drink some water. Because I really had not intended to go live. I was going to go to bed, but I feel like my spirit wants to say something, and so that water was really good. I mean, it's, I love being in the space where I just appreciate small things like water, But anyway, even before or whether or not anyone comes into these rooms, you guys know me. I'm not going to really wait for too long because I would like to get some rest tonight, and I do have an early morning in the morning. So what really made me ended up going live was, because I just been chilling today, right? I was able, because, really anytime that I'm having anxiety or just feeling off balance, and it happens, come into contact with certain things and just, having certain things revealed. All I need is like a tub of hot water, and y'all know when I take my baths, it's whatever color I want it to be for the day. I have my oils in there, and I got my flower petals and my flower essences and my Florida water, and my bath is like a whole vibe, honey. And so that's all I really need is to like come into contact with some hot, fragrant water. And I'm able to restore myself, to a spiritual homeostasis, if you will. And so I am much more balanced, than I was. I'm back in my zenness. Okay. So, but I did want to still, I'm much more in my zenness because my energy feels a lot lighter. Once I release something, I really release it, and now it's just my energy and the new energies that I'm allowing to be where I'm allowing them to be in my life. So now I feel a lot better because it's like the way that spirit has allowed my perception to change about everything that has happened. It's like what it looks like to me now is okay. That happened. Yes, it was painful, but as because I'm becoming an expert now at going through these spiritual deaths and rebirths, and so So it's like I'm getting good at it to the point where I learn, it's first of all, I embrace it because I recognize it for what it is, because I have died many spiritual deaths and had to create myself and rebrand, my businesses and things like that, due to this very familiar spirit of jealousy and you know what I'm saying, and greed that always, seems to try to follow me everywhere I go when I'm beginning to elevate, and it's really my own fault. So I do take full accountability for everything, because and I'm not even saying that this is something that was not supposed to happen. I do trust the writer of my story, okay? And so, the writer is good. The writer is really good. You know what I'm saying? At putting little twists and turns in the story that catch you off guard, but that then also, you know, cause you to pull. It's like to align with higher aspects of yourself that you didn't even know existed until you had to use these qualities and these aspects, okay? And so what really caused me to go live tonight was that I was somebody came to my TikTok, basically trying to defend years, and it probably was him or some, I don't even care who it was, but because quite frankly, I'm done with the situation, okay? But I am going to clarify some things, because the one thing that I didn't never got clarity on, because even, and I will take that video off of private, um, to back up what I'm saying, because I'm the queen of backing up what I'm saying, because I'm always speaking the truth. And so it was even a couple of months ago, and this video is definitely not going to be about this, okay? I'm just going to and this is why I did title the video "Let the Dead Bury the Dead," because I'm frankly, I'm done with that whole situation and moving forward. And the thumbnail of this video is the path that is lit before me, that I'm very excited and about. And once again, is confirmation for me that again, it's conviction once again in me and my relationship with the divine. I knew to wait with no fear. You know what I'm saying? Until the Most High showed me, that gave me the next direction, and so that's what I did. And so I'm actually very proud of me and the way that I've handled these challenges, as I have, just found myself on a new level. Okay, I'm on a new level. And it's not even about anything that people may be, assuming when I say that. It's a new level of awareness, of consciousness, of love, of just everything that all the good things, because I've always talked about the yin yang being this like sort of like a labyrinth, a maze, I really can use like I'm trying to get a visual, the laws of the universe, the hermetic principles, to describe what is happening when we have this like ebb and flow in energy. And this so which law is this? Because I'm very relaxed right now. I did take my bath before I came live. And so which law is this? Um the law of because I'm seeing, I'm seeing it. Okay, I'm just trying to remember it in the mind part, right? I'm seeing the pendulum, because this is what I would always use to describe this law. I can't remember exactly what it'll come to me when, spirit remind me of the name of this law. Because the first law that I was going to speak of, okay, is the law of cause and effect. Okay, and I do put, once I have eaten some knowledge and eaten of a word, then I'm able to, then I don't have to regurgitate it verbatim the way that I got it from whatever. I take it and I alchemize it into the word, the way that I'm going to deliver it as the message that, the way that I received it. And that's the beauty of us all being, individuals. And so the law of cause and effect states essentially, because I am saying it in my own words, the way that I state the law of cause and effect. Um, or some would call it the law of karma, would be, but the law of cause and effect as a hermetic principle essentially states, and again, I'm paraphrasing because I do use my own mind and therefore my own words. In my own words, the law of karma or cause of effect essentially states that you shall experience the effects of that which you cause. Okay, and I like to put it that way because, it's essentially another way of saying that what goes around comes around, and you know what I'm saying, all the other ways that we describe the laws of, understanding really the law of oneness, that there is just one being here having many experiences, and so we will receive that which we have given. Okay, and so this is why I like to state the law of cause and effect in this way, simply because this is the way that my mind likes to arrange the words in order to create the visual and the effect on the listener, that I'm trying to have. So again, the law of cause and effects states that you shall experience the effects of that which you have caused. So for example, if I have caused you to feel um, rejected or a sense of loss in any way, shape, or form, I should know, knowing that this is a law, okay, an inescapable law of those of us who are in this realm. Um, Knowing that this is a law, then I should automatically know that um, that same feeling, that same emotion, that experience that I caused for what seems to be another when there is but one, is inevitably coming back to me. Okay, and we learn from experience, those of us who have actually been walking this path, that when it comes back pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Okay, and I will explain why it comes back multiplied, whether this energy was a positive energy or a negative energy. I will explain why it comes back multiplied later, but I don't want to lose my focus right now. Okay, so what brought me to, made me go live, was that someone came to my TikTok, um, trying to defend Israel, which I was like I said, I've been chilling and I'm done with it. When I say I'm done with something, I mean what I say, and everybody that knows me knows that, like I said, I'm the queen of backing it up. Okay, when I say I don't, my words do not return to me void, because the spirit within me, what I'm saying, is what is actually speaking. And so when I say I'm done, I'm done. Um, but I will go ahead and provide clarity for the people, and also thank these, because I had to thank this person who, brought this BS to me today on TikTok, trying to defend Israel. I thank that person because they brought me clarity, because I always knew that some lie had to have been told, because I know that I haven't done anything wrong to them. Okay, I don't want to say them. I'm gonna say I haven't done anything wrong to anyone. Okay. And I know that I've been more than fair, and I know that I have been pure love, whether people could receive that or not, it's not my problem. But I know the truth, and there are many other people who have been witnesses to the truth. And that's all it doesn't even matter. But I know that there are a lot of people who don't know because they haven't been around, or maybe they just getting to know Israel's newest personality that he has for Clubhouse. And there was one for Bigo, and there was one for Live Me, and there was one for Tagged, and all of these other websites. Okay. As we know, narcissists, they love social media because they can create whatever mask that they want. And this is why he loves Clubhouse so much, because he doesn't even have to cam up on Clubhouse. He can just talk. And so, when you work for the master of illusions and deception, and you are you make a delicious word salad for those who are are hungry for lies wrapped in truth. Then of course, I told y'all, people love the covert narcissist because they have a beautiful mask for the world. And so I don't even blame this person for trying to defend who she thinks this person is, because there was a time when I was going even harder for this same person. Okay. Because I too could not see past that layer of pink that was covering all that darkness that was on the inside. Okay, which is how I ended up in the position that I'm in now. And again, I thank that person because they provided clarity for me from something that that I had brought up in the video that I actually put on private, that I am going to take off of private. I was wondering, because when I found the half-built site that they were building, and I say they because it was Native and Israel's picture on the site, okay? But I do know that narcissists have ways of manipulating things to look a certain way. And so, my love for Native is still unconditional. It's just going to be from a distance because of his association with people who I do feel, have tried, not who I do feel, but who I know, you know what I'm saying, have absolutely tried to destroy my livelihood out of a deep sense of jealousy, a deep hatred that goes beyond something that the human eye can see. This is an age-old battle. Okay, the age-old battle between light and darkness, and Israel. Okay, and that MF who is back there, who is not real, like that lady saw on the airplane. Yeah. And let me stop throwing shots, because that's I don't know, that's a part of my spirit that's just needing to release, because I'm still a little just it's annoying when you're dealing with a narcissist, because you have to deal with their flying monkeys coming, who don't even understand what's going on, trying to defend them. And like I said, I don't even blame this person, because there was a time when I was going hard too, because you just don't understand what's going on. And it's hard to see what's going on when it's a covert narcissist, because they have a church boy smile for the world. And I'm innocent, and I'm the victim. This is always the story. And so I never knew what the story was, right? And so when I had gone live a couple of months ago, and when I had found the half-built site, intuitively led to it, okay, and found the site that they were building, I And I asked him honestly, still trying to trust him, what are you going to be selling over there? I'd have no problem with you going off doing your own thing and your aspirations and dreams and all of this, you know what I'm saying? But I do have a problem with you copying, because I know him to do this. I mean, I've seen him do it. Like I said, I told y'all it was giving single white female when I started to listen to Yaki, awaken myself and realized how much he has, like, just he has Yaki indelibly printed on the brain, not just the knowledge, but the personality, the opinions, the everything, okay? And down to the point where when Yaki changed his religious status, or whatever you want to call it, from Hebrew Israelite or whatever he was before, or maybe Yaki was already a Nazarite, then Yisrael said, well, I'm leveling up now, because I don't even want to go into how narcs think, but this is indicative. I mean, I know a lot of religious narcs who do this. They change religions like every 6 months, or every time they meet someone else who is more charismatic than they are, then they become that other religion, and in their mind they're leveling up. When it's not about leveling up, but whatever. I mean, not in this particular way, but basically because the way that he sees it is that I'm becoming better. I need to start, because this is, I said in the video before, and like I said, I don't want to talk about this for too long, because I'm over it. But when he said I'm no longer a Hebrew Israelite, I'm a Nazarite, I was watching Yaki by that time, so I saw what Yaki was talking about, and I saw that he was just basically just mimicking Yaki. And let me say this again, I learned a lot from Yisrael before I realized this, okay? And so I have never failed to give Yisrael his flowers for the things that I've learned from him, okay? Neither even to this day, okay? But again, halfway through it, I realized he was mimicking Yaki, and I started to learn from Yaki myself. So I'm not never failed to give Yisrael his flowers for anything, but I feel like there are a lot of misconceptions out here as far as because the thing is, Yisrael has never given me flowers for the ways in which that I have helped him. He never will admit that I have helped him, and that when we both met, that we were both in a dark place, and that I was able to help him because I'm a spiritual healer, and I touch the soul and the emotions. And when we went into business together, it was holistic, okay? And holistic healing is about mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional healing. And he specialized in herbalism. And, he was talking about Hebrew Israelite, and very religious. And so, I said, well, let me handle the emotional and spiritual aspect of it, because this is what I've always done. Okay. And he was going to do, the mental and emotional, and in some way it was going to bleed into one another, because you cannot have mental healing without acknowledging the emotional body. So basically it all goes together, and this is why I put it together. So let me make it clear that it was my idea. Though I sat at Yisrael's feet, before I met Yisrael, I had a room full of herbs, and I was already an herbalist, okay, and very knowledgeable about herbs when I met Yisrael. So he did not, because this person came to my TikTok and said, this is something he told them, either it was him, or this is the lie, the narrative that he's spinning in order to make himself look innocent in this situation, okay? And I was glad for that person coming to me with that, because I never knew what the lie was. And I asked, when I found that Have Built site, I was wondering what lie are they going to tell? I said, because they're going to have to lie, because I haven't done anything wrong to anybody, right? And they're still acting like they cool with me and smiling in my face, yet they're moving funny. The energy has changed, okay? And I can feel the energy. So I had asked in that last video, and the video is, like I said, the video is still here, so I do have proof. This was before their site was up, okay? I said, I wonder what lie are they going to tell on me, because I was only worried about that the fact that I was going to end up getting lied on, because that's what narcs do when they do somebody wrong who hasn't done nothing wrong to them. They have to lie on you. Okay, so I had mentioned that in the video that I did a couple of months ago when I had found the half built site. I said, the only reason I'm making this video is because I can't see how, what, I'm wondering what they're going to tell people when they come up with this new site, especially if they're going to be trying to sell the same things that I'm selling, what they're going to say about what happened to Unraveler. I said they're going to have to, I can't imagine them doing anything but telling a lie, because if you tell the truth, then your true character is going to be shown, because Unraveler hasn't done anything but loved both of them unconditionally and given them pure love. Okay, so they would have to lie on me in order to justify doing what they have done. And this, I said this 2 months ago, and that video does still exist, and I have it on private. Okay, so I was waiting. I said, I just had to sit back, and even though I knew what was happening, because like I said, I am a child of the Most High. God shows me everything ahead of time and what's happening. And so I had already spoken on this, and I have the videos to prove it, okay, dated and everything. And I had already mentioned this. I said, in order for them to pull off what I feel that they're getting ready to try to pull off, which is a copy of House of Healing without the Unraveler, who basically put them on, okay, on my site that already existed and changed into the House of Healing so that we all could, benefit from it. And so the and we all did, and we all, if it, it would have continued to grow, it had a bigger purpose. But the House of Healing is still standing. It still does have a bigger purpose, and the changes that have happened, obviously were meant to happen. But what's not going to happen is that lies being told about me, because I knew that the lies was going to have to be told, because there would, I mean, if you tell the truth, the truth is that I haven't done anything wrong to either nobody, right? I haven't done anything wrong to anyone. And in order for them to pull off doing what you're doing and still keeping the guise of being a good person and having a good character, you would have to lie on me in order to explain why you put me out of my own house, basically tried to build some shit on the side, was side hustling the whole time, and then literally built a thing on the side where you could reroute the money from the business that we built together to something that you were doing on it, so you could take all the money, right? And so I knew that a lie on me would have to be told, because I know that my hands are clean and that I haven't done anything wrong and that I have been more than fair, okay, to everyone involved in the situation. So I brought that up, in that video, and I wondered I was like, what are they going to say? Because I'm hyper vigilant to narcissists, and I know, like I said, it's a familiar spirit. So I know all of the moves that they're going to make ahead of time. So I was just waiting, because, like I said, do what you do. I released them with love, as y'all saw, but what you're not going to do is lie on me, okay, in order to save face, because this is the time of, the great awakening, okay? And people are looking, more people are looking, and people are listening more than they know. And I don't mind answering any questions, being on any panel with anyone, because I have not lied and told no lie, and have nothing to hide, okay? I haven't twisted anything up, and the answers I give will be very clear. They won't be no bunch of bullshit that don't make sense that you just gotta dismiss because you want to support the person, okay? And in doing so, become a flying monkey without even knowing it. That person who came to me, if this was not him, okay, himself, because narcs do things like this. I hadn't mentioned, the other day, after I had, just went ahead and cut ties, and basically ousted the whole situation that was going on. I started getting emails, okay, And anyone who's dealt with a narcissist, this is the type of things that they do. I started getting emails, and anyone who, I'm just going to let y'all put two and two together. So I started getting emails, and the emails were from people who, was acting like they, needed healing, and were bringing up all these situations that they had. I got this, I got that, but I can't take any. They were trying to make the remedies that I was going to have to give to them to be something that was going to be extremely difficult for them, saying I can't take anything grass related. I am allergic to the ginger. I'm allergic to such. Okay, just to test my gangster on how good of an herbalist is, if I would be able to come up with something for them. Now I was able to come up with something for them, even though I knew they was lying. And I knew, because see, this I've seen Israel do this to many people. Try to test what you know. If someone was to come up on a panel on Bigo, for instance, and say, that they were an herbalist, he would ask them not only to open their refrigerator and all that stuff, but he would give questions like, well, hypothetically, I got I got cancer and high blood pressure. What would you advise for me? Testing their gangster. Okay, this was the same style of questioning that was happening in these emails. Okay, and especially the level of the things that they was trying to say that they could not take, knowing that most of my herbs are grass related herbs, or green herbs, and but I also work with roots and flowers and things like that. So this is what I ended up prescribing them: some fruits, citrus juices, and some licorice root and roots. I know I also work with roots and barks and other things, and but he was trying to test my gangster, and whether this was him or somebody that he sent. It was him. Okay. So like I said, so what I did was, and what it made me do, because I had already been talking to Alkaline Zen, and he is the one who's going to be the consultant for my website, and I'm excited about it but before even going into that, so this person, they tried the first time, and I was like, okay, gave him. Now this is all free advice that I'm giving through email to somebody who I know is just, I know this is Israel, because I know, like I said, it's a familiar spirit, and he doesn't know he's possessed by this spirit. Okay. And so your line of questioning and the way that you're doing it, okay, via the email, and I can screenshot it to prove it, and and people who have they know what I'm talking about, and some people just know that I'm telling the truth because they know anyway. A lot of people have contacted me behind the scenes, and they just I don't blame them for not getting involved, but people, he thinks that he's pulling this off, but really he's digging his own grave. Okay, because lies will never prevail against the truth, and trying to paint my character to be something other than what it is, there will be no evidence to back that up, because it's lies, and I got plenty evidence to back up everything that I have to say. Okay. And so, but basically, so through the email, harassment through the email, and I can feel the energy of it, this type of energy, because it's devil energy, to an empath like me, and he knows this. Okay, because like I said, at this point, he's possessed. He knows what he's doing. Okay, he's the type to go and harass a tarot reader just because you ain't feeling good today, and let me go harass her. And now I have regulated my emotions, because he has something against tarot readers. What it is that he is not plugged into the source, and he has something against people who have true spiritual gifts, and who can actually, channel the divine, and people who actually get real downloads in real time, and who don't have to memorize and regurgitate like a robot, but who God speaks through in real time. Okay. Yisrael has been present when I have been speaking, and people in the crowd have, in the comments, have validated that they were receiving energy that I was sending them, saying that their whole body was vibrating, more than one person at a time. Sometimes people saying that they stopped smoking marijuana after I sent them that love. Okay, people. So, I'm an energetic healer, and I can help heal emotional, and I can help you walk through this valley of the shadows. And we will be going through, the shadow work journal, which is it's a journal that another someone else wrote, and he's a Black man, and he did an amazing job. And so I'm going to be actually using that with some of my clients, but also you going through that on some of my platforms, just to help people understand what shadow work is. Because there was a time when Israel used to talk about being a shadow worker, and there's no such thing as a shadow worker. Shadow work is something that the individual must do. And this is just another thing, indicative of why I asked him to stop speaking about my spiritual information, because it's obvious that you don't understand it. And I also heard somebody else. I heard Mayat say she was a shadow worker. Once again, they try to offer being a shadow worker as something that, as a service that they can sell to people. Yeah, I'm a shadow worker. When shadow work is something that neither one of them have. Is obvious that neither one of them have done. Okay, because shadow work ain't no shadow worker. Okay, shadow work is something that each individual must do. And it's part of the healing journey that you have to walk alone. Okay, it's something that as you're walking through the valley of the shadows, there is no one with you. Okay, and so if they was true spiritual healers, like they be trying to front like they are, they would not. They would know that there's no such thing as a shadow worker. Okay, so stop embarrassing yourselves. Okay, shadow work, however, is something that must be done, and it must be done by the individual. Okay, and this is the cultivation of the relationship with spirit. But somebody came to me and was saying, talking about how Yisrael is the one that schooled me on how to ratio the herbs, which is a lie. I was bagging up and selling these herbs for a couple of years before Yisrael probably ever had his hands on these herbs. Now, he had herbs at his house, small amounts of herbs that he would pull out to show people here and there, but he was not making medicine and alchemizing the herbs into medicines. Okay, this was my idea. Okay, that God put in my head. Like I said, the whole house of healing was a seed that God planted in my mind. Okay, a download that God gave me. I was learning. I was already an herbalist when I met Yisrael. So let me make that clear. And for those of you who have been watching me on YouTube, y'all know this. I had a whole room full of herbs and oils and tinctures and things that I was already into. Okay. And so when I met him, and this is my story has never changed, because I don't need to lie. When I met him, then it helped me expand my knowledge of the herbs. And then I began to watch Yaqub for myself. And I have never failed to give anyone that I've learned from the credit, never failed to give Israel his flowers for what I've learned from him. Okay. Yisrael has never, however, given me flowers for the things that I've helped him with, and that he's learned from me. He just would take my stuff and run with it and act like it was his. Okay, and so that's the difference between a narcissist and someone who is truly grateful. At the end of the day, this person, came to me and was like, so this is what let me know this is the lie that has been told, because I knew that a lie was going to have to be told on Unraveler in order for him to still look like he was, ethical after stealing, my recipes and creating a side business and being a double agent, working with me all the way up until the day that you were able to switch over and begin taking payments on that site. Okay. Snake behavior, there's no justification for that, because you could have told if he was righteous, then I would have been fully aware of all his plans and what he was doing. If he was really my friend, and you know what I'm saying, I would have blessed that. But he knew what he was doing was wrong, which was why he was trying to do it secretly, and was hoping to get the satisfaction that all narcs hope to get when they sweep the rug from up under you with whatever support that they were doing with you, whatever way they were supporting you. they get satisfaction out of that. Okay. Even the other day when when I had a little meltdown and started crying about the fact that I knew that I would never be able to trust him again, I knew that if he heard that, I don't care how much he acted, if other people were around him at the time, like that affected him, it actually gave him satisfaction, because narcissists, they get satisfaction from finally breaking what they feel is a child of God. But what he doesn't understand is that I don't break. You know what I'm saying? I bend, but I don't break. And so, I bounce back, honey. I get my power from God, and I'm tapped into an unlimited source, which is why I'm not worried about that little piece of energy that he took and stole from me and trying to manifest from, because it's going to cost him more than he can afford. And, and now the timeline that I have been shifted into seemingly overnight, which is why I was so exhausted for these past few days, and emotionally and mentally, is because now what he is doing, and trying to copy what I was doing, looks like an old timeline to me. It looks like what he's doing now is going to look played out to me, with the path that the Most High has lit before me, as I released him in with love to go ahead and become a dark replica of the original, which was House of Healing LLC. Okay. And again, there is no bitterness involved, because this is the path of one who is really walking the path. And this is what I wanted to tell this person, because evidently the lie that Israel is spinning in order to save face is that he schooled me on how to ratio out the herbs, which is an absolute lie. I was bagging up these herbs and alchemizing them into medicines before the subject of ratioing out the herbs, before Israel was ever even faced with it. And I can even tell you why he's even talking about ratioing out the herbs, because one of his masterclass students, and I also going to talk about the masterclass and how the masterclass turned, which was both of us in the beginning, turned into his $600 mentorship, because he wanted all of the money instead of sharing half of the money with me, who put him on my site to share my business with him. Okay. But back to, the subject at hand. The ratioing out the herbs only came up in his vocabulary when he began to, was basically trying to teach one of his students. And if that student is listening, and if that was you that contacted me on Bigo, you were the first one who ever even put that into his vocabulary. Okay. Because he was not talking about how to ratio out the herbs, because he was not mixing and blending the herbs into a medicine. I was always the one who has done this. Okay. I come from a long line of medicine women. Okay. In my Cherokee bloodline. Okay. This is my path that I'm walking, and my purpose that I'm fulfilling. Okay. And like I said, in the story of the wheat and the tares, how we know is because God planted his seeds first. And then the devil seeds, the tares, were a copy. Okay. And so House of Healing was there first, sweetheart. And I was always the herbalist in the background who did not ask for the spotlight or any clout or any of that, but was the one who was alchemizing the herbs that I did learn about what they do from Israel. Not saying I didn't know anything about herbs. I learned about the herbs that Yaki was using to heal. I had already read Sacred Woman by Queen Afua, and I was already reading the Native American herbalist Bible when I met Yisrael. I learned about Yaqui herbs, which only expanded my practice, okay, from Israel, which I have never failed to thank him for. But it was never Israel's idea for me to take these herbs and to blend them into medicines, okay, and to heal. He didn't put that idea into my mind. That was my mind, okay, and he did not create the herbal blends that are in there. A lot of them I copied off of Yaki. Okay, if he was to tell the truth. And then because I don't like to copy people, like I said, Yaki teaches what he teaches so that we can learn to be what he is teaching. Okay. And when I met Yisrael, this is what he told me. I'm teaching you what I teach you so you can become your own herbalist and dietitian. Okay. But the thing about a narc is that they act like they want you to do good, but they don't want you to do better than them. Because, see, I don't talk. Like I said, I'm the queen of backing it up. Everything I learned from Native in Israel, I actually put into action. I actually applied it to my life. And so, yes, I added what Israel taught me to what I already knew, and I created the medicines, okay, from what I learned, from what Yaki already had, and what I knew from the Native American Herbalist Bible, from Dr. Sabi, and all the other sources that I already had on my own path. Okay, so let me make that very clear. Like I said before, Yisrael did not make Unraveler. Okay, like he's trying to make it sound like to these people that he schooled me on how to. And first of all, the word ratio didn't even come up in his vocabulary until he had a student that was asking him about how to ratio out the herbs. And because they did not know that he was not the one that was making those medicines, but I was the one making it, he didn't even know what to tell her. How I know this, it was because when this student started asking him about how to ratio out the herbs, guess who Yisrael called? The one who was ratioing out the herbs. Okay, so this is how I know that he wasn't even talking about ratioing out no herbs, because he was not handling any herbs. He called the one who was handling the herbs, and he didn't even feel the need to talk about ratioing out herbs. As anybody can look at any of his past videos, never talked about it, because it didn't come up in his need to do that, because he wasn't handling no herbs. He wasn't doing it. All he was doing was talking about it. He knew the path, but he was not walking the path. Unraveler was walking the path. And so when that student asked him about the ratioing out of the herbs in order to make medicines, which I was already doing, he called me. And this is when he added, because this is what he does. He steals energy. Anytime he hears somebody, for example, I heard one lady came up on his panel one time on Bigo, and she explained, she was a nurse or something, and she explained how grapefruit was a powerful, now I had been listening to Yisrael for years. I was his protege, so I know. So I ain't got no reason to lie about anything, and anybody who's been around can verify it. Okay. And so I knew that he had never mentioned was grapefruit was not part of his regimen, because it was not something that Yaki talked about. And Yisrael's whole repertoire was all Yaki, all Yaki. Okay. So this nurse came up. There would be other people who would come up and talk about other things, and he would always feel like he needed to compete with them instead of to allow the extra knowledge that they were trying to add to him to complement what he already knew. He would always make that person, a competition. This is his personality, and anybody who's been watching Israel on Bigo knows this. Okay, so I ain't got no reason to lie. The evidence is there for itself. Okay, this is why. Well, I ain't finna go into it, but anyway, the lady came up and she talked about how powerful grapefruit was, and how, this is why the doctors tell you not to, eat grapefruit with certain medicines, because the powerful, the detox properties of the grapefruit were so powerful that they would even cause the medicines not to work. And I remembered this. I remember it because Spirit points certain things out to me. And I remembered him never giving this lady, because I knew that she was given some new information. He had never talked about what grapefruits do before. And I remember him, acting like, he didn't really react much to the lady. I felt like it was some new information. It was powerful. But what I did notice was that the next time he was teaching, he had added that information into what he was talking about. Okay. So he never thanked the lady, never gave her the credit for giving him that new knowledge, but he added it into his into his Rolodex of information. And this is what I've noticed about him, the whole time I've known him. He learns bits and pieces of things from different people, but he never thanks the people, okay, unless it's a man that he's worshiping at the time for whatever reason, okay. And I ain't even about to get into all of that, but yes, you know what I'm saying. But he gets information from different people, and he acts like it's his information, and he gives the people that he wants to give credit to, and he has an agenda behind that when he does that. Okay, because after Yaki had fired him and also threatened to sue him once he fired him, okay, um, for contacting his old clients, trying to get, they talking about he's not money hungry. Even his closest friends have called him money hungry. So, like I said, the people who come trying to check me, you don't know somebody. You're sitting here trying to defend somebody that you probably just met. Or again, you're trying to defend yourself, and you're making a big mistake, because all you're doing is causing me to reveal more and more truth about who you actually are. Okay, so I have asked you to leave me alone. I have released you with love. Go ahead and be that old version of House of Healing, as House of Healing continues to evolve into something greater, and make you look like you played out, because you are. Okay, and so you know what I'm saying, you burnt out. I mean, even the people on Clubhouse are already saying you sound like a broken record. Okay, this is when he leaves every site he goes to, when he begins to sound like a broken record, because everything you've memorized from everybody else you ran out of, and because you're not plugged into the source, ain't nothing new coming in. Okay, so in order to get some new information, let me go siphon some new energy off some new people. Okay, and this is how narcissists operate, and this is your typical classic narcissic, um, way of eating from the children of the light. Okay, so I will not allow this narrative to be spent that Yisrael schooled me on how to ratio out the herbs. I was ratioing out the herbs before Yisrael even understood that there was a need to ratio out the herbs. Okay, he was caught trying to teach something that he was not qualified to teach, and it was one of his students that asked him about something that he couldn't answer and had to come to me. Okay, so this is how the word ratio even became part of his vocabulary. So, like I said, I was done with the whole situation, returned to my zenness. Okay, and but I again, each lie that he tries to tell on me, because I knew it was coming, it will cause me to reveal a little bit more truth about who he really is. Okay, how I know that he has the spirit of greed. First of all, it's a familiar spirit. It's been after me. Okay, I've been fighting with this spirit in every lifetime, because I'm truly a child of the light. Okay, and he knows who I am, and I know who he is. Okay, and so how you know who is who? Because who's copying who? Okay, so you know what I'm saying, who's copying who? So, like I said, we had a master class, and this is the last that I'm going to speak about this subject, because quite frankly, it makes me sick to my stomach, okay, to even have to lower my vibration enough to address it. um, we had a master class that we were teaching together, because again, holistic healing is mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional. Israel still has a lot of emotional and spiritual growing to do, okay, and development to do. Okay, so you can have all the book learning in the world. Okay, he's filled to the brim with that. He can memorize and regurgitate anything. Okay, and so I never took that away from him. But as far as the emotional healing and the spiritual healing, this takes someone who has actually walked this path and experienced to be a teacher, and someone who is trying to guide people down this path. You have to have actually walked this path, and I know for a fact that he hasn't. Okay, and so we were doing this as a team in order for the healing to be holistic. Okay, and so we were offering a master class. We each also had our individual consultations, and things that we were offering, and on the tab on our site called classes and consultations. We both were offering our own individual things, and then we had a class that we were teaching together called the master class. Okay, and there is even a video on my site from some of the masterclass students who were, learning from both of us and who were very grateful to be learning from both of us. Okay. However, the spirit of greed entered into Yisrael, and he came to me and said, because when he went to Clubhouse, he was basically the people from Clubhouse are telling me they never even knew I existed, and I already knew that because I would go into his room sometimes, and there was other people who knew him from Bigo, who knew both of us, who would be telling me he was over there telling the people that the site was his site, and he would always mention Native or mention some other man, Phil Coffer or Yaki, but never mention Unraveler. I knew this because, again, I am an intuitive empath. I know no matter who else can't see it, Yisrael is a misogynist and he does not like women. Okay. He worships men, though. Okay. And like I said, I'm not even getting into that part. But I already knew that that the people from Clubhouse didn't know I existed, even though I was the one who owned the site that he was on, who invited him to join me on the site because I saw that he didn't have much self-worth when he was selling a $20 lifetime membership to his energy. I was the one, and there's plenty of people who have been witness to this. And now he's spinning the narrative that, he was the one who taught me how to ratio out herbs. Okay. He was the one. It was never his idea for me to make those herbs into those medicines. Okay. I come from a long line of medicine women in my bloodline. Okay. Even my grandmother on my mother's side was a medicine woman. Okay. But all of the medicine women on my father's side, okay, this is my path. Okay. And I'm an Aquarius North node. Okay. I was meant to be a healer. And if you notice a narcissist, they want to be everything they see everybody else is. Okay. If the more that you watch Israel, he will keep adding things to his title, though he hasn't walked the path to really be qualified for any of them, other than saying I give him a master herb. I wouldn't say he's a master herbalist, because there's a lot of herbs that he don't know nothing about, don't work with, that he will literally tell you are trash. And these herbs, all these herbs are my God made them all, and they all have a purpose. Okay. But he'll sit there and tell you that stuff like garlic and things that other people have used to heal with is trash, that you can't, stuff like that, because he took opinions that Yaki had and used them as his own without fact checking anything. And so I don't agree with everything that he says. I have my own way of doing things. And I even noticed that as Yaki changed his mind, as Yaki began to expand and grow and change and say, well, now I feel like, maybe I was wrong about something of the water or whatever. Changing as you grow, we change and we learn. And when we know better, we do better. And then Israel would also change his, but he would never admit that he was wrong. The first time, he would just slowly try to incorporate it as if he had already been teaching it, to the point where me and Native even fell out. Me trying to defend Israel because Native was calling out the things that Israel was doing that was incorrect, that needed to be corrected. Okay. And me being a good friend. Okay. I'm sitting here trying to protect him from Native, who was trying to correct him just like I'm trying to correct him right now. Okay. This is how good of a friend that I've been to him. I have come between when Native was trying to correct things that he was saying that were wrong. And, we have all had little issues like that because I was ride or die for both of them. Okay. And so I would fall out with Native over Years. If Years was coming for Native, I would fall out with Native, both ways. I would check either one of them for coming for each other, because we were supposed to be united as a family, and because they have that mindset that they have. Everything is, and I'm not even going to say that Native has that mindset, but because Native was honestly just trying to correct things, a lot of misconceptions that Years had put in people's minds about herbs and stuff that Native knows more about because he actually grows these things. Okay. Yiz ain't growed nothing and literally said, I ain't got time to be trying to grow no herbs. Okay. And Yiz was not bagging up and walking this path of trying to be a hands-on herbalist until he saw how much money I was making by alchemizing the herbs that he was only talking about into medicines. He never gave me that idea. He didn't make me. God gave me the idea. When I was listening to him say, this herb does this and this herb does this, I said, well, if I put these together, you know what I'm saying? And I started listening to Yaki myself. I was like, oh, and I know what I can add to it because I also have my knowledge, my own knowledge to bring to the table. So a lot of my herbal blends, none of them are an exact copy of nobody. They are my own herbal blends. But if you look at Yisrael, his stuff is an exact copy of mine, down to my Vax out, which nobody else has because it is an Unraveler original until I came into contact with this narc. Okay? So don't get it twisted. Okay? It is very, I just want people to be very clear on what the truth is because I knew that the lies were coming because the only way that a narc can save face when they're being exposed is to lie on the person who has been nothing but good to them. Because there's if I had done something wrong to him in real life, he would, that's all he would have to say. The thing that I've done wrong, right? He would only have to say the truth. But there's nothing wrong that I've done to him, but been a good friend, opened up my store that I already had for years before I met him, allowed him to join me on it and make money under my legal covering, under my LLC, to build up his confidence, to build up this false image, to then go other places and act like, I don't even exist. And then have his flying monkeys who are enamored by his shiny mask that he's showing him that, will crumble once it's illuminated by the truth. Okay. But I understand because at one time I was also enamored by it. Okay. But he's lying. Okay. Yisrael did not make Unraveler. I have helped him and taught him just as much as he has helped me and taught me. But what you're seeing is an imbalance of the scales that I told y'all as a Libra rising that I will balance. You know what I'm saying? Myself. And so when I see that I'm giving more flowers and I'm giving more gratitude to him than he's giving me, and he's just taking my information, running with it, acting like he came up with the ideas himself, which is another reason why he wanted to separate from me, because he did not want the people that follow and believe in him to figure out, like I figured out how he was copying Yaki word for word. He don't want his clubhouse people to figure out that a lot of the spiritual things and knowledge that he claims to have came from me. All you got to do is listen back to a lot of my midnight mindfulness videos. Yisrael listens to people and he sucks up that he's an energy vampire. And so a lot of the spiritual knowledge that he claims to have, he got it from me. Okay. And so he did not make me. He has learned a lot from me and had a dark cloud around him when I met him. Okay. And that dark cloud began to lift the more I spoke life into him. Okay. And there are plenty of witnesses on Bigo, okay, who saw this. So while he's trying to move forward to Clubhouse with this next face on, no, he's not going to get away with lying on me. I'm not concerned about what he's doing. I already have seen how it ends. And Yisrael has too, in his own dream that God sent to him, that because he's not plugged into source, he doesn't know what that dream meant. Okay, a dream that ended in him at the door to hell. Okay, but he won't talk about that though. Okay, so we all know how this ends in the great fire. Okay, I know where I'm going because I know who I am. I know what I have done, and I know what I brought to the table when I came to the big three. Okay, I didn't come to the big three eating off Native and Yiz. Okay, they both have gifts that I have give them. Native got 2 trees in his backyard that I bought for him out of love because I wanted to see him grow those trees. Okay, not for any other reason. Native ain't never gave me nothing. Other way, I ain't gonna say that. And this is not about what we've given one another. Native has actually given me things. Okay, when we would play the games, Native has taught me a lot because he was actually back in his backyard growing these fruit trees and these herbs, and that years say he ain't got time to grow. Okay, and was not bagging up and was not dealing with in a capacity where you're making them into a medicine for anybody. The only time he became interested in making herbs into a medicine was when he saw how much money I was making off of it, which is why I know that his intentions for creating that business is the reason why it's going to go the way that it's going to go. It don't matter what lies you tell and how many people you get to believe the lies. Okay? The law has been already laid. One big thing that me and Yiz never never agreed on with the religion, because he's religious and I'm spiritual. He teaches that, what the Bible says, the beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Lord. And I have a personal relationship with the Most High, and I could not let that fly because I don't teach fear. Okay. And not that type of fear, not fear of God, because there's nothing to fear about what is love through and through. Okay. And so we would always argue about that. But what I will say is the beginning of wisdom, which Israel obviously does not have, is fear of the law, not of the Lord, but of the law that the Lord laid down. Because the law is going to bring about the outcome that's going to that's already going to happen. The seeds have already been planted as intentions. Okay, ain't nobody else in this world got to know Israel's true intentions for doing what he's doing, but him and God. Okay, but I know because God allows me to see that. Okay, ain't nobody else got to know, and I'm not here to convince anyone else of it. Okay, nobody else got to know. God knows though, because he thinks God is outside of him. He don't know God is in there with you, which is why you're paranoid, which is why you're scary, because somebody else know what you're really doing, which is why you have imposter syndrome, because you don't really feel as great as you trying to portray to people as you think that you feel. You know what I'm saying? All of these things. People that lie habitually, they always scared and that the truth is going to come out. They always lying on other people, scared that the people that got the truth, the people that they be lying on are the people who got the truth that they are afraid is going to be revealed about them. And so, you know what I'm saying? The thing is that when you try to lie on a person like me, who is an open book and who, I'm saying, I ain't lied to nobody. I ain't done nothing wrong. My hands are clean. I've already paid back all my karmic debts. All it can do is come back to you. Okay, pressed down, shaking together, and running over. And so again, I really didn't want to go live and be talking, letting this be the subject matter, but people are coming to me on TikTok. And so again, I thank them for at least giving me the clarity, because I knew the clarity would come, because I knew a lie had to have been told as far as what is the reason, because everybody knew, Unraveler, Native, and Years as the family, the House of Healing family. And so, I was wondering, because they never gave me a reason. You know what I'm saying? They just kind of just started, went quiet. They stopped talking to me. You know how people act when they're guilty, when they betraying you, because nothing had gone wrong between any of us, right? Not like that. And so they both just went quiet and stopped talking to me. It's moving like snakes. And then, you know what I'm saying? And this is because they had begun to build this other site on the side, but was still smiling up in my face because they could not afford. I'm not saying I'm Native, because Native was not taking anything from me, but Yiz, okay, he could not afford to let me know that he was, doing what he was doing on the side, because because he knew it was wrong, and he knew that I would cut him off right then and there, and he didn't want to stop making money with me, because he was making a lot of money working with me while he's trying to act like I ever did anything wrong to him. All I did was put him on my site after Yaki fired his ass and threatened to sue him. Okay, put him on my site, allowed him to call himself whatever he wanted to call himself, to charge whatever he wanted to charge, to sell whatever he wanted to sell. And that ego began to inflate. And it really began to tell himself that what he was doing was more important than what I was doing. The type of healing that he does is more important than the type of healing that I do. And so the greed of it was, when we were teaching the master class together, the master class was $600. And so we each got $300 for it. Okay. And I actually wanted to add Native into it because I wanted him to teach about agriculture, and I wanted to split the $600 three ways. Okay. I ain't even about, trying to be that. But the greedy person in the group came to me and said, and that it's people on Clubhouse that want to pay the $600, and they specifically said that they only want me, they don't want you. Now, when I presented this to a mutual friend, the mutual friend even knew that that was a damn lie. Okay, the reason was because he put me, he swept me under the rug, and he presented himself as being offering a $600 class, and he did not want to share the money with me. We had an argument about it. Me, him, and Native had a three-way about it. Native told him he was wrong. Okay. I don't give a damn. Native told him he was wrong because he is greedy. He did not. Now, this is my site, my business that I've been owning, that I invited him to. But he comes to me and says, people want to pay me only. They don't want you. Okay. Because they don't want me, because you're over there making them believe I'm a witch and I'm evil and all of that, and or allowing them to believe it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not stupid. I know how covert narcs act. Okay. And so he was allowing them to believe whatever. And he literally kept arguing with me until I eliminated the master class altogether, and I allowed Yisrael to have the whole $600 instead of splitting it with me, which was the original plan. So I want y'all to understand that I've been seeing this spirit of greed in him the whole time and been dealing with it for a long time. Okay, I'm not sitting up here lying on this man for no reason. And like I said, I'm not mad at him for doing what he's doing, because like I said, anytime the Most High tells me to look away from something, I already know what's going to happen. Okay. And also, my path before me is lit. So that is something that is now behind me. Okay. But what he's not going to do is spin narratives and lie on me. Okay. I was more than fair to him. Yaki was paying him $30 per consultation. Okay. And I paid him $100. So how the hell am I doing cheap, using him in any way? I never asked Yisrael, never one time since I've been knowing him, to ever go out and promote House of Healing. But when he started going over to Clubhouse promoting, and we started making a lot of money, then all of a sudden he come to me talking about I'm using him because I'm using him to make money, and he ain't, you know what I'm saying? He was making more money too. We was both making more money, but he was just mad because I was making more money than him. I'm telling you, this is how narcissists think, because they are always comparing. So no matter what you give them, you can give them their heart's desire on a silver platter, they still gonna be looking over at what somebody else got. They can have the whole loaf of bread and still be mad at that one person that got that one slice, if that one slice is making that person happy. Okay. And so this is a case of somebody being greedy as hell, being possessed, okay, with the spirit of greed, okay, delusions of grandeur, okay, a habitual pathological liar. And I'm not standing for it. I don't have to lie on anybody, okay, in order to win a war. And this is why he's going to lose, because the lies will begin to unravel, okay? The lies will begin to unravel, honey. You got the right one this time, because he's been doing this his whole life. I can tell. I know people like this. He's been doing this his whole life. Lies slip off his tongue too easily. But if you really listen to the answers he gives, the shit don't even make no sense. All he be doing is gaslighting and saying a bunch of shit that to confuse you to the point where you've forgotten what was the question that I even answered. But see, a lot of people's, their minds are not that sharp. But the reason why the Most High gave his chosen ones a sound mind, power, love, and a sound mind were the three most important tools that he gave his chosen ones, because he knew that the types of mind games, okay, and word salad and trickery that the devil's children play. Okay? Anybody that he talks to me, I'm a very clear communicator. I think I make it very clear what I say, and I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. Now you can listen to Israel, and yes, he's an excellent memorizer and regurgitator, but talk to him in a personal conversation. And tell me what, then come back and tell me about, you know what I'm saying, about who this person is, because a person can have, a character and a persona, and you know what I'm saying, that's what these people are in love with, but they know nothing about his true character and his true personality and his true personality disorder. Okay? I know him for real, for real. Okay? I'm not coming for him because I'm mad about nothing. Okay? I told y'all I'm more hurt than anything, and now I'm pissed because now you lying on me. Yes, I'm tired of narcissists sitting up here doing people wrong, innocent people who have tried to love them, tried to help them, okay, and then turn around and also you gonna also lie on the person, on, because first of all, the person is already hurt by the betrayal. Then you, to save face after you done betrayed them, that's the first hurt. You gonna pour salt in the wound by now lying on the person. That's what you're not gonna do. And like I said, I am going to release take it off private, so to prove to y'all that I had already predicted this months ago. It was at least 2 months ago. It might have been longer than that. Okay, when I knew that he was getting ready to do this, and I spoke on it, and so now he's doing it, and so I will sit here and I will edit both of these videos together to prove to you before and after, okay, that I knew what he was getting ready to do, okay, because my intuition is on 1,000. And because he's a non-believer in the gifts that God gives to his real chosen children, he don't think that my intuition, he think, I don't know how he thinks I know, always catch his ass when he's trying to be sneaky. Okay? I don't know how he thinks I know, but I know he don't think it's God, because if he knew it was God, he wouldn't be moving like a snake. Okay? Unless he had no choice but to be a snake, because that's his true nature. What you're not going to do is lie. Okay? What you're not going to do is twist it around and wrap the truth up in some lies. Okay? Sugar covered in shit covered in sugar. That's not what you're going to do. You might do that to some of the people, but you don't do that to the unraveler. Okay? I came to unravel all of them lies and illusions. All y'all got to do is start asking this man some questions and listening very closely to the answer. Okay, that's when you're gonna see the narcissism. That's when you're gonna hear the gaslighting. That's when you're gonna hear the word salad and the lies, the inconsistencies. Okay, all you got to do is look at the mission statement and the logo on his site and see, didn't he just try to copy mine? I mean, like, damn, you couldn't even just come up with your own. Like, I don't even want to go into it. Again, I'm laying this to rest, but again, let me make it clear to those though, who want to follow your team Yisrael. Yisrael did not make Unraveler. Okay, and all the real people who have been around since day one, they know that. And all of my YouTubers, y'all know that, because y'all been knowing me longer than Israel has been knowing me. Okay. And I've always been knowing how to make shit happen. Okay. So don't ever get it twisted. Okay. Once again, I'm older than his mother. Okay. So he ain't really got much knowledge to impart. Okay. He may have the book knowledge, but he does not have the wisdom. Okay. That the Unraveler has. And which is why he can't pull off none of his little schemes, which is why every time he tries to lie, cheat, or steal, kill, steal, or destroy in my presence, I call his ass out on it. And this is why he has a deep-seated hatred for me and a need for other people to hate me just as much. Okay, he is a covert narcissist, and all of the behaviors that I have pointed out and have receipts to back up is proof of what I'm saying. And I'm done saying it, because I'm not here to convince, and convert people that are going to follow him. Okay, follow him. Do what you do. You know what I'm saying? All I'm asking is that y'all leave me the hell alone. Okay, because the Most High told me to just keep rising higher. Okay, to levels to which where he can't follow me. So he can keep that little energy that he stole. He's just gonna look like he played out, like he always do. A broken record, okay, played out, doing things that have already been done. I'm not intimidated by somebody doing things that I already been doing for years, okay. So now I'm going into new things. My path is lit before me. He's already got his replacement, okay, a much better energy, who was the missing piece to the puzzle that I need, who had his own energy to bring to the table. Okay. And so I'm moving forward into new experiences and let the dead bury the dead. Like I said, I don't want to talk about it anymore. He can continue with doing that old school, played out ass shit that I used to do. And I'm going to continue to evolve because I actually continue to learn and expand and grow instead of stealing other people's information. I'm always a student. Okay. And so my remedies continue to be improved. I continue to improve upon the remedies that I already had. So he can keep following me, just like the stalker y'all know from YouTube that just copied my my yellow brick road analogy. Okay. This has been happening to me my whole life. Okay. You get to a point where they can't keep up with you. Okay, y'all know that that particular stalker been following me all over the internet for years. So now I'm back and I do my yellow brick road analogy, and he over there trying to copy it. Okay, still trying, but can't quite do it. Okay, because that is what happens when we get to the time of the harvest, the wheat and the tares. For the average human eye, those who don't have eyes that see, I know that the wheat and the tares, you can't tell the difference. You know what I'm saying? But at the time of the harvest, it will be apparent, okay, who was the wheat and who was the tares. And for those of you who have eyes that do see, you already know. You have ears that hear, you already hear the lies, the word salad, the gaslighting, the inconsistencies, and the discrepancies. Okay? So, like I said, the truth always prevails. I'm not no longer concerned with that, because one of the main things of a narc, reasons for a narc coming into your life, is to take your focus off of your path, because the Most High has great things planned for you up ahead. Okay. Great collaborations, and you know what I'm saying? Putting you among the stars where you actually belong. And this is the whole reason why the narc came into your life to begin with, to keep you from reaching there. Okay. And I'm so close to it, I can taste it right now. And so even as I was going through this and taking blows from the devil, in the war, y'all knew I was going to bounce back. I always bounce back. God's people, we don't die, sweetheart. We expand, we multiply, we take that energy and we transform it. Thank you for the energy, because I alchemize that. Okay. And I use it for my own benefit. Okay. And see, the way that he took my energy and stole it is the bootleg version of how we can take that negative energy they give us and turn it into good. Okay. The bootleg version and the copy is how he takes mine and thinks he's going to prosper off copying off me, while still sitting here and smiling in my face, and you know what I'm saying, betraying me, and then trying to paint me out to be the villain. It's not going to work, because the lies that you're telling about me don't match my character. They don't match anything that people can look through in my life, or anything that I've said, or my message, or anything else that's going to match the lies that he is going to try to tell. So, y'all are witnessing me at war, a war that I don't want to fight, but I will finish. Foot on neck squad in the building. Shout out to Archangel Michael in the building. Okay. But you know what I'm saying? People who learned about God from books, and that's all they know and that's all they got to talk about, they are not ready, okay, to go toe to toe with a person of my spiritual ranking and caliber. Okay. So, like I said, I'm gonna let the dead bury the dead. I laid that to rest when I cut ties with Yisrael and all of his minions and flying monkeys and fake friends and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whoever's gonna go with him, I wish you well. No hatred here. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, leave me alone. Okay. I'm happy. Leave me alone. Okay. I ain't got time for you. I hope you wish you well with the energy that you harvested off of the divine one. Okay. And those of you, who's sitting out here with your subliminal messages, still not woman enough to come to me face to face, trying to speak on me and speak negativity on me and me being under quote unquote karma, when this is actually the part of the path that where you actually about to get that rebirth, as you sitting on your auntie's couch because you in karma for talking shit before. I would shut up, honey. Okay? You need to be somewhere praying. Okay? But since you have no connection to the divine, I'm going to pray for your ugly ass. Okay? And with that being said, my people, y'all have a good one. Okay? Good night.